Is your relationship toxic? Here are 8 signs you shouldn't ignore. Have you ever found yourself wondering if your relationship is really healthy? Or maybe there's a voice in the back of your mind telling you that something feels off, but you're not quite sure what it is? Let me ask you this. How do you really feel when you're with your partner? It's easy to brush things aside, but there are often clear signs of a toxic relationship lurking beneath the surface. If you can relate to any of these, it's time to take a step back and reassess what's really going on. Let's dive in. 1. Lack of support. The hidden weight on your shoulders. You know that feeling when you accomplish something amazing, and all you want is for the person closest to you to cheer you on? But instead, you're met with silence. Or worse, criticism. Imagine you've just gotten that promotion at work, something you've been working towards for months, maybe even years. You share the news, expecting a congratulations or even a smile. Instead, you get a shrug, maybe even a comment that leaves you questioning if you're worth celebrating. That's a gut punch, right? If you're constantly feeling like your partner isn't in your corner, undermining your success, or subtly tearing down your confidence, that's not just being unsupportive. That's toxic. 2. Constant blame. The never-ending blame game picture. You've had a disagreement, maybe about something small, like forgetting to pick up milk on the way home. But somehow, by the end of the argument, you're left feeling like everything wrong in the relationship is your fault. It's as if you're in a game where no matter the problem, whether it's their bad day at work or an issue with friends, it always leads back to you. When you're always the one in the wrong, when the weight of every issue is placed squarely on your shoulders, you start to question yourself. You wonder, am I the problem here? That constant self-doubt is a major red flag. A healthy relationship doesn't leave you feeling like you're always to blame. 3. Control and dominance. When your choices aren't yours. At first, it might feel nice that your partner cares about who you're hanging out with or what you're wearing. Maybe it feels like attention or love. But over time, you start noticing that their care has slowly turned into control. Why are you hanging out with them again? You're wearing that tonight? No way. Control isn't always obvious at first. It might start with innocent suggestions, but it can quickly evolve into your partner dictating your actions, friendships, and even your opinions. It's like you're no longer living your own life. You're just following the rules they've set for you. If you're feeling boxed in, that's control. And it's toxic. Communication breakdown. When talking becomes a minefield. Remember when you could talk for hours about anything and everything? When sharing how you feel came naturally? Somewhere along the way, the communication has shifted. Now, instead of productive conversations, every talk turns into a shouting match or a stone-cold silence. Your words are twisted, your feelings dismissed, and nothing ever seems to get resolved. If every conversation leaves you feeling unheard or insulted, it's not just a rough patch, it's a sign of something deeper. Healthy communication should build bridges, not walls. 5. Isolation from friends and family. The slowly closing world. It starts subtly. Maybe they make a comment about how your best friend isn't a good influence, or how your family doesn't really understand you. At first, you might shrug it off, but then one day you realize you haven't seen your friends in weeks, maybe even months. And family gatherings? Those have become rare. You tell yourself that it's just the natural course of relationships. You're busy, they're busy, but deep down, you know something's wrong. Isolation is one of the oldest tricks in the toxic relationship playbook. When your partner discourages or outright prevents you from maintaining other relationships, they're cutting off your support system. Suddenly, the only person you have to rely on is the one keeping you isolated. And that's exactly where they want you. 6. Diminished self-esteem. The subtle erosion of self-worth. You used to feel confident, at least more than you do now. You used to look in the mirror and see someone who was capable, strong, and valuable. But lately, Lately, you're not so sure. Your partner's little comments, the constant critiques, whether about your appearance, your choices, or your personality, have chipped away at the person you used to be. Maybe they mask their insults as jokes or tell you they're just being honest. But honesty shouldn't make you feel like less of a person. If being with someone makes you feel worse about yourself, it's not love. It's toxicity, plain and simple. 7. Unmet needs. Feeling like you're running on empty. Everyone has needs, whether emotional, physical, or otherwise. And in a healthy relationship, there's an effort to meet those needs. Sure, no relationship is perfect, but when you feel like you're constantly giving and getting nothing in return, that's a problem. You might find yourself always compromising, always bending over backward to make your partner happy, while your own needs are pushed to the side. Over time, this leads to frustration, resentment, and a sense of emptiness. A relationship should feel like a partnership, not a one-way street. If you're always feeling neglected or dismissed, it's time to ask yourself, why? 8. Fear of the relationship ending. When you feel trapped, deep down, you know something's wrong. Maybe you're unhappy. Maybe you've even thought about leaving. But there's a voice inside telling you to stay. What if I never find someone else? What if I'm overreacting? What if they change? This fear of ending the relationship, even when you know it's unhealthy, often stems from emotional manipulation. They might convince you that you'll never do better or make you feel guilty for even considering leaving. If you feel trapped in a cycle of fear and uncertainty, that's a sign of toxicity. It's not love if you're afraid to leave. Recognizing the signs. What comes next? Now I get it. Relationships are complicated. But if these signs are ringing any bells, it's important to trust your gut and take a hard look at what's really happening. Toxic relationships have a way of sneaking up on you, but the moment you recognize the signs, that's when the healing begins. So, what's your next move? Maybe it's having a difficult conversation, seeking support from friends or family, or even deciding that it's time to walk away. Whatever it is, remember this. You deserve a relationship where you're supported, loved, and valued, not controlled, diminished, or trapped. Now it's over to you. How does your relationship measure up?